All right, so yesterday a gentleman did a video and he called me a liar about the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, and he said he'd gone to kilometer 30 and there was nothing there, just like a flagpole. But here's the thing, neither the government nor I as a private citizen said that if you drive from Ahmadu Bello Way up to kilometer 30 you're going to see something. That's not how it works. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway Section 1, which begins on Ahmadu Bello Way, is actually 30 kilometers completed. But the 30 kilometers starts from Ahmadu Bello Way, 20 kilometers all the way to Okunwaja, and then it stops there. And from the other end, from Eleko, it goes backwards 10 kilometers. So it is the Eleko backward 10 kilometers and the 20 kilometers from Ahmadu Bello Way up to Okunwaja that is 30 kilometers. The photo that we took, myself and Professor Reno Soyinka, it was not at kilometer 30 all the way from Ahmadu Bello Way. No, it was from kilometer 30, you see, from Ahmadu Bello Way up onto Oku axis, that is 20 kilometers, and then from Eleko back, that's 10 kilometers. So the point where those two roads converged, that is where we took that photo.
And that was how Tinubu's biggest political propaganda and political project was detonated and made of sand. It was emptied by just one effort. And this is in response to all of you that keep saying ignore Reno. Because what I see is that the APC urchins who do not have any substance to be able to defend the lies and propaganda of this government trust Reno to be able to pull out manipulation from somewhere and put out on social media for the youth. There is nothing that has annoyed me the most. Though I've come to my comment section for someone to write, go and listen to Reno. Excuse me? I said the dullest of Nigerians can tackle Reno. Go ahead and read Reno's posts. All of them are rebates and repurposed information that he has seen somewhere, and he tried to create it and make it sound. And because majority of Nigerians are not readers, and again it becomes worse when you're an APC person, because no sensible, smart Nigerian that actually wants good of the country with a passion for their own personal growth will continue to seek or eat from Reno's table. He's lost that right, because one of the things that you must build your journey with is purposefully focusing on what is right. Character. And so for someone like Reno, who doesn't have it, one of the biggest mistakes we made in recent times was when Nigerians had to vote for Reno, sometimes I think 2022 or so, against Vusi, the South African brilliant speaker, who particularly had been involved in engineering a thought and a generation of thinkers in Africa. And Nigerians, because of population, voted Reno to win that. I think it was Business Influencer of the Year or so at that time. And that was what led to Bola Tinubu pinpointing Reno to being somebody that he could use. And since Atiku lost out of the election, of course, people say that Reno and Tinubu had built alliances even before the elections, and of course they knew Atiku would not be able to win, and they knew all of the gimmicks that they were going to do. Ever since then, Reno has now become official Vuvuzela. Guess what? In this particular project, with all of the nonsense you are seeing now, Reno has now created a pseudo explanation to saying that, oh, he was being figurative, that you have to. Why do you have to explain a project? Why do you have to? The same way you explain the elections, you explain court judgment, you explain everything, you explain all government policies, a simple road project. Why do you have to stop at a section and go and start somewhere? And as I talk to you now, there is no confluence, there is no joining of these two roads yet. But you are saying that whatever you have done, even in bits and pieces, up to 30 kilometers, and we should forget about it. And that is what these stupid Mumu APC Hutchins and followers want us to take home and say we should keep quiet. And then when you tell them to put them in their place, some people are saying, leave Reno. No, you can't leave Reno. In fact, for 2027, someone like Reno is okay. I'm not even sure he has influence. He's only being used as propaganda. The people that follow him know that, of course, is because even the government officials, the buyers of this world, cannot even explain the rubbish that Reno does. And sometimes they will be ashamed to say, who sent you? But he has to do that. He needs to continue to feed. And like Acapella said, people live for daily living, also for daily living. But Reno lie for daily living. He has to lie for daily living. The only way Reno can survive is to lie, and he has to. And guess what? Whatever he came to Nigeria for this commissioning, and I like that he dragged Professor Wole Soyinka into this, furthermore messing up the character, the reputation of the learned professor. And it's unfortunate how Professor Wole Soyinka who was once an envy to Nigerians, and an institution has now become what Bola Ahmed Tinubu has now used to mess up the ground. And when somebody said that Tinubu came to kill, to steal, to destroy, he wasn't talking about Nigeria alone. Even reputation and brands have all been destroyed on the altar of associating with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is what Reno has become. This is what Reno has become. This is what Nigeria has become. You are explaining project. The guy simply went to the road and said, how am I driving in a road that was... First and foremost, let's not even deceive ourselves. Commissioning that road was an indication that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is scared, he is worried, and he wants to give something, because he knows 2 years of all of his wastes, apart from subsidy, is gone and floating the naira. There is really nothing to talk about in the country anymore. There is nothing. The student loan is arbitrary rubbish. His campaign with 77,000, whereas it is, even Oshomole says it, that it is, we need living wage for the workers. As it were, with the current economy of Nigeria, what somebody can offer to Nigerian workers as minimum wage, and you will clap for that person, has to be at least 200,000 naira. And I say that because it is very obvious. What can 77,000 cannot even pay, as it were, anybody's transport fare to and fro work for a month anywhere in this country. So, and then the Tinubu knew that what he needed to do was to rush a road project. And even the contractors, giving their own remark that is now on social media, said, for any reason, would have said that the road may not have told people. Then why did you have to even commission the road in the first place? They commissioned road and called Reno and sent in small money. So yeah, start work. Only one person, 2 videos, that's all, that's detonated all of the political propaganda that Reno and APC. Again, like I said, if you have someone like Reno in your camp, you are not ready to work, because what it does for to live is propaganda. And a government that invests mostly in propaganda is not a government that wants to fix the country. And that is how to know. Because you do not need vuvuzelas and media propagators to push your narrative if you are going to do work. The Nigerian people would be magnanimous enough to look at what you are putting, and they will push the project higher. Why do you need to bring someone like Reno and all the liars in this for propagandists in chief? And then you have to look at how rubbish it has become. A project that should actually be celebrated has now become a distasteful one because you wanted to lie. And this is again a reason why you see I am angry with people like Sheikh Okibaloye and all of these guys on our media space. Nobody took the pain. You went to a conference room to go and commission the road. At least there are no reported kidnappings in Lagos. So you see that the future of this country rests on the oars of young Nigerians who are independently minded and pursuing causes for the good of this country. Because the organized systems, the institutions, the sectors have all been messed up and captured. So the only way Nigeria can find progress or reverse this gear away from failure is to begin to look at Nigerians themselves independently verifying, pushing for causes and ensuring that Nigeria gets better. Because if you are waiting for media, waiting for ICPC, waiting for EFCC, waiting for the judiciary, waiting for INEC, waiting for the court, you are going to fail. Waiting for National Assembly, Nigerians must take destinies in their own hands and request that this country get better by themselves. By themselves. Right now we are using media. A time will come when the Nigerian people will start to also will begin to fix other issues in this country. Nigerians will fix security. Nigerians will fix the ineptitude in our judiciary. Nigerians will fix the National Assembly. Don't worry, a time will come. And when the time comes, the time will come. I'm out of here.